This is the plaintiff, Vera. She says the defendant, her sister, lived in an apartment in her house, and her menace to society teenager wrecked the place. He caused a flood which damaged her daughter's room and the basement, broke door frames when he lost his temper, and when she asked her sister to cover the damages, she laughed. Well, family or no family, she wants the $5,000 it's going to cost her to make the repairs, and is suing for just that today. This is the defendant, Anne. She says she lived in the illegal apartment in her sister's house, and the portable washing machine hose unlocked and caused a leak. She cleaned it up immediately, and now her sister's suing her for water damage, which occurred on another occasion. The door frame was also broken when she moved in, and now the devil inside her sister's coming after her to pay for all those previous damages? Come on, sis, get real. She's accused of not being very sisterly. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $900 for property being held hostage.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated and come to order. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Vera, you've asked to be referred to only by your first name. You are suing your sister, Anne. You've also asked to be referred to only by your first name for $5,000 for damages that you say she did to your ceilings, kitchen floor, and doors when you opened your home to her during a divorce for her to live with you. Tell me what's going on, Vera.
Well, my sister needed a place to stay. Her husband and her were separating, and she had 3 children. And she asked me—
How old were the children?
Children are young.
How old? I'll just ask her.
They're 9, 19, and 20.
That's it.
Okay. Go on.
So 2 of the children were coming to live with her. One was in rehab. And she said, I'm going to have my daughter and my younger son here. And I said, okay, no problem. And she said she wasn't sure what was going to happen with the older son when he got out, but I let her come and stay. And she was going to find a job.
What was happening with the house that you had been living in?
I had separated from my husband, and I went to live with her.
Okay. Who's the gentleman with you?
That's him.
Oh, that's the ex-husband or soon-to-be ex, or are you back with him?
We're not back together.
Okay. When you went to go live at your sister's, you were going to live where?
Upstairs.
Okay.
It's a 2-family house.
Okay.
And
were you paying rent?
I wasn't at the time because I was just getting on my feet. And
so she, rather than renting it out, she was giving it to you?
She told me that it would take time for me to get on my feet, and she understood that. And at the time, she was able to pay her bills and whatever. So I stayed there. And
I mean, that's great. That's what family's for, and that's wonderful that she was able to provide that to you. I assume you're very grateful for that.
Yes.
All right. So then what went wrong? Because I can't help but notice that you're in front of me. So she lives there for how long?
She stayed approximately a year and a half. Her son—
No rent for a year and a half?
No, she was supposed to start paying rent. We had agreed on $1,000, but she was really having a lot of difficulty with depression and, frustrated with what was going on in her life and dealing with her son in rehab and just a lot. It was a lot. So I said, all right, well, keep trying. And then when you get a job, we'll work out whatever the payments might be. And I tried to just do whatever I could. And I fed them and took care of them because at the time her husband refused to give her any money at all for the first 6 months. She didn't get a dime from him. They had no means to eat, nothing. And while she was there, her son wound up leaving rehab. So then he came to live with us suddenly too. And, I was still there supporting her and doing whatever I could, trying to help her find jobs. Yes. I have a 12-year-old daughter. So the son came to live, and he was still having problems with his drug abuse. He, was trying real hard. And then Nick started getting involved again. And
how?
Well, he would come over and, just show up. And I said, please don't have him just showing up here. I don't want drama at the house.
Right.
And of course, we've had a couple of incidents where they got into it and I had to come out and say something. And he's like, shut up and get back in your house. And it was just it was getting tenseful. And I asked Anne, please do not have him coming here. It's very uncomfortable for everybody. Please stop. And
how long did she live there total?
15 months, I believe. It was 15 months.
No rent?
No rent.
All right. And Tell me about the damage.
Well, the damage, I didn't notice all of it until after she had moved out. I did know, however, about the entryway to the upstairs of the house. Her son and her had an altercation one night, and he flipped out and took a chair and threw it across the room, and the police showed up, and he took off, and then he went to run back in the house, and the police grabbed him, and he smashed into the door. It's a steel door. And as he hit it that hard, he broke and cracked the door frame.
Is that accurate?
I believe that the door frame was already broken. It was
No, but
never.
I guess I was talking about all those other facts that she just told me about. Did your son wig out? Did the police have to
Yes.
come? Were the police dragging him out? And did he
Yes.
hit the door frame?
Yeah.
Okay, all that happened, but the damage was already there, is what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that the door frame was already broken beforehand because she never had it replaced properly. So it was already like on there with a couple of nails or something.
Okay. Do you have pictures of that door?
Yeah. This is the steel door.
Okay.
And then you'll see the door frame is green.
So, but part of the damage that you're suing for, you say, is water damage, which is rather extensive. How is it you didn't notice that until after she left?
No, I knew about the water coming through the ceiling.
Okay.
The damage, of course, didn't appear right away. I have plaster
Right.
ceilings. So as the water seeps into the plaster,
Right.
the mold doesn't
But
come
was
out
she
right
still,
away.
okay, there was an incident where the same son?
Yes.
Okay, what happened with that?
Came home one night high, and about 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard something weird. I didn't know what. I jumped out of bed and went into my daughter's room, which is right across the hallway from me, and opened the door, and it looked like a rainforest. I mean, literally, it was like I'd never seen anything like that. It was raining water all through her light in her room. So I went up the stairs, and I'm like, oh my God. I opened the door. I'm like, what's going on? Why is it raining? And her son is in the kitchen with a mop, trying to mop up 3 inches of water. I'm like, oh my God.
What had happened?
He connected.
Why don't you
a
tell me what had
portable-
happened?
Portable?
I had a portable washing machine up there and it was off balance, so the hose popped off.
How many inches of water were there?
I don't remember any inches of water. We cleaned up the best we could.
How long did it take you to clean up?
She never showed me the room with the water leaking.
How long did it take you to clean up?
Probably a couple hours.
How long? If it takes you a couple of hours. It's not just a little spill, right? It's a lot of water. Where is he helping to clean up?
Yeah,
Okay. How much longer did you live there after that?
probably a couple of months.
How did you finally leave? Where'd you go?
I moved to an apartment with my daughter.
Oh, all of a sudden you could figure out how to get an apartment?
Actually, she found the apartment.
Right, but do you not understand
She just
that-
cut me off. She totally
just cut
me
you off. How much longer does she have to give you life support? Life support is a temporary thing. Life support is a month or two till you get back on your feet.
I would do-
But I
I
mean,
worked-
15 months later, honey, at some point you got to put your big girl pants on, forget him and forget her, and support your own children that you brought into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to just do stuff. You got to just do stuff. But 15 months and you think that that's her cutting you off. You know, I don't know what that means. I think that she kind of felt like you were maybe taking advantage of her. I mean, maybe she felt, I mean, were you too close
She's been in
growing
the-
up?
We were very close. I would do anything for her, and she knows that.
So what went wrong?
What went wrong is she let her husband back in, and he's very manipulating mentally to her, has destroyed her and the family many times. And I tried to tell her, and she just had to figure it out on her own. And I thought by letting her stay with me, I would be helping her, but in fact, I enabled her.
This hurts, doesn't it? This hurts.
You know,
Because you guys are supposed to be best friends, cradle to grave.
I know that I went through my situation, and I know it was 15 months, and I did whatever I could for her. I babysat for her. I worked with her in a cleaning business. I gave her money when I could. And, you know, it just kills me because she's been in worse situations than I was in, and she always had somebody helping her.
Who?
And I
Was
don't,
it you?
Yeah, I've helped her. I babysit when I was young, when she was going through her divorce or her separations. I babysat for her and I helped her out.
Did you ever do anything like this? 15 months?
I
is a lot.
wasn't, you know, if I was old enough.
But I
and
don't
had
know why. If there's all this damage, what is going on? Do you think she's trying to pin damage that isn't your fault on you, the same
Yeah,
person who housed you for 15
She
months?
never showed me any documentation.
She has to show you documentation. You know both things happened. When did you guys stop talking?
I had been helping her move all her stuff over and to her new place, and the Sandy storm came, and I was home alone with my 2-year-old grandson who has RSV, and
What's
I have a
RSV?
12-year-old
I'm sorry,
daughter.
What is RSV?
It's a respiratory,
Okay.
deficiency. Yeah. So, and I also have my 12-year-old daughter at home. And I called her and I'm like, the power's out. Where are you? And she said, well, I'm going to go stay at my boyfriend's. And I said, okay. I said, what about all your food in your fridge? I said, I have no power, but my girlfriend across the street does. Do you want me to go get the meat and put it in the freezer? No, I have no power. It's fine. I'm taking care of it. I'm like, okay. I don't find out until after the storm is over that she had been letting her husband stay there with the boys. And I said, how could you take him over me after everything I've done? How could
You mean
do
she
that?
did
as a
have power?
boyfriend.
You mean she did have power?
She did have power. She lied to me.
And she
did not lie to you.
And she let her ex-husband or her husband, because they're still not divorced, stay there with what boys?
Her younger son and his, her oldest son. She let them stay there. And I said to her, how could you do that?
What'd she
I'm
say?
there freezing every night with the baby, have nowhere to go, have no money, can't get gas because you couldn't get gas unless you tried to
Right.
kill somebody. It was crazy. And I said, how could you do that to me? I said, you know what, Ann? You're dead to me. I'm done.
What did she say?
She said, those are my sons and he needed to be with them. I said, Ann, I could have went and been with them. I've taken care of those kids many, many times. Nick did not need to be there. He had a sister's house to go to. He could have went to a friend's house. You go and take him in after everything he didn't do for you? Are you kidding me?
Did you want to
Kitty.
respond to this?
He has helped me a lot. He actually helped me get into that apartment. I let him and the boys stay.
Why wouldn't you just stay if there was power and invite your sister to stay too?
There's not that much room there, and she had a boyfriend at the time.
But there's not that much room there. Everybody sacrificed during the hurricane.
She has so many friends and knows so many people, so
So it's just a one-way street with you, right?
No,
Are you
it's not.
surprised she cut you off?
it's not a one-way street. I've done plenty for her.
I don't know, because the one time I hear when you had a chance to do something good, you didn't. You let him. Come on up. I want to hear from you. Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Nick.
Okay. Has your relationship with her sister been a little bit strained?
Well, the first day I met Ann, she came to me. Her sister spent an hour and a half trying to convince me never to take Ann out. So from that point on, she's never been on our side.
Right. And you were married for how long?
We've known each other since 1995.
Is it accurate that you didn't give your wife
No,
or children
there
support?
was never
during
a date.
Why aren't you finding them an apartment instead of them having to live with her?
I found many apartments, but it's not what you wanted.
So when were you court ordered to pay support?
No,
When did you pay support?
I never stopped.
Is that accurate?
Yes, he paid support when I was in the apartment when I still had my 9-year-old with me.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. My question, if you had a brother or sister that disrespected you in a terrible way and they just didn't pay you, would you ever sue them? What do you think?
I probably at first would be really mad. And then, they're your brother and sister. You have to live with them for the rest of your life. So I'd probably be like, it's okay.
Yeah, but they would be, if they're bold enough to disrespect you.
Forgive and forget.
Okay, well, that's easy for them, but for you, that's the question.
No, I would sue them.
Because?
Because I paid so much money or
just put yourself out.
yeah, I wouldn't let them.
I get your point. I actually get your point. We're going inside the courtroom.
Okay, tell me why it is that I shouldn't order you to pay the amount of money that she is asking for all of these damages. You say she never showed you receipts, she never showed you the pictures. Would you like to see the pictures and respond to them? You don't think it's peculiar? Can I just ask you while you're looking at the damage, you don't think it's peculiar that, if the shoe was on the other foot, wouldn't you feel kind of slighted?
Me?
When if you opened your home to somebody for 15 months and then you needed
if you
15
knew Vera,
minutes.
you'd be laughing right now.
I'm sorry?
If you knew her, you'd be laughing now.
Why?
Because this is not her. She's the manipulative one.
I'm sorry, did she or did she not house your wife for 15 months?
I think if it wasn't for her, my wife never would have left.
You have a counterclaim against her for $900. Talk to me about your counterclaim. By the way, did you see the pictures?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I have no
That's a
idea
door
what
jam.
I'm looking at. I know what it is, but I'm saying I don't know where.
Okay, but we do know that your son operated a washing machine, that the hose came out, and that we spent 2 hours cleaning water. We know that much. And we know that the police had to come in and restrain him, and while they're dragging him out of the house, which sounds like a pretty violent situation, he hits the door jamb.
No.
Right? Well, you weren't there. I wasn't asking you, I was asking her, because she already said that. Right?
That's not what she said, though.
Okay, sit down.
Sure.
Sit down. Right?
I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let's talk about your counterclaim. You have a counterclaim against her for $900. Let's go through it.
It's just stuff that I had left there when I moved out because she didn't let me come back in. She wanted me to come there at certain times, and I had to get people.
Why didn't you just take it with you when you left? Because she supposedly she. Okay, wait, hold on. First of all, is it false that she helped you move?
No, it's not false.
Okay, so people are helping you move and go in there. Why don't you just take all your stuff when you're leaving?
Because she stopped speaking to me.
No, before she stopped speaking to you. Why can't you get your act together?
She was preventing.
I'm not out. Take him out.
All right, sir, you gotta come out. Thanks, sir. I'm just gonna walk, go right to the left.
Let me explain something to you. I don't expect you to pick between your man and your sister. And any sister who expects that is expecting too much. Let me be very clear on that.
She did expect that.
I know. I get that feeling. I get that feeling. But what happened here wasn't that you let him in. If she found out you had power, you lied to her, and you let your boyfriend in, she'd be just as offended.
Right, because I don't decide why she's with that guy.
Why, you don't like him either?
He's hurt her so many times, it's incredible.
Okay. Tell me about the dolls that you say you left behind.
I have a few porcelain dolls.
Why didn't you take the dolls with you?
It was just left with the stuff that I didn't get to move because I didn't have the help to move.
Do you have the dolls?
No.
And do you have the patio set?
She gave that to me. She said, you can have it. I don't want it. I'll just get a small one to use for the backyard. That's what she told me.
Dishes. She has her dishes. You say that you left dishes behind. Where?
They were put into boxes, either back into the storage in the living room or they're in the basement.
Your Honor, she just left her apple dishes behind, which are novelty dishes that I packed up for her.
Oh, so you do have them?
I do have
Okay,
those.
so we have apple dishes, whatever that may be. Do you have the file cabinet?
File cabinet, yes.
You have a file cabinet. And do you have a Christmas tree and ornaments?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so as for your counterclaim against her, the 1, 2, 3, 4 items that we just talked about, which she says she has, we are going to make arrangements for a mutually convenient time through Officer McIntosh outside for you to move your stuff from her home. As for your claim against her, I see damages here that far exceed the amount that you're suing for, but your statutory maximum in small claims is $5,000.
Yes.
And I'm going to order you to pay the $5,000. As for the counterclaim, I find in your favor in items that she says that she still has, which we're going to make arrangements for to go ahead and take. Let me explain something to you about the law on abandonment. If you leave stuff behind, okay, people don't have to house them for you just until you're good and ready to go ahead and take them. There's a certain point of time when you moved out of somewhere where that person has a right to consider this stuff abandoned.
I did try and call her and set something up. She wanted me to go there at certain times. I never went there
Yeah,
at
that's
10
her right.
o'clock.
Go in the certain times that she wants. It's her place,
that
man.
would've
You're
been
still
fine.
keeping your stuff there. Why is it so hard to understand?
That would've been
You're rolling
fine.
your eyes at me like you think that, oh, it's so ridiculous how she's siding with my sister. I got to tell you something. I'm sure the fault is on both your sides. I'm sure there's plenty of fault on both, but I got to tell you, to the sound of the average person listening, it's tilting. It's tilting. Because you don't seem to value 15 months of being in her grill. And that's something that should be forever you should be grateful for. So if she is witchy, and if she is manipulative, and if she is trying to call the shots between you and Loverboy, you should be tolerating it. Because she tolerated you for 15 months. And not just you. It would be bad enough if you moved in there alone. You would have been a pleasure. But you had kids with complications around her 12-year-old kid. Yeah, I thought when I walked out here there was something maybe I could say. Because I tell my daughters all the time, best friends cradle to grave. Best friends cradle to grave. There's nobody else who substitutes it for this relationship. But you're smiling and she's crying. And my time is wasted any further here.
Both sides,
So they're sisters in there.
Yes.
Are you the wedge that's between them causing the rift in their relationship?
Oh, no, Vera's the wedge.
One of the sisters is the wedge between themselves?
Between all her sisters, every one of them. She's the outside person. None of them talk to her.
Well, she said it was you. Come on in here. What's your reaction to the...
After all this time.
You're still here. What's going through your mind? She was crying. You saw your sister, tears in her eyes, and...
I didn't look at her.
Don't you want a sister that you can love and have a normal relationship with?
That would be nice.
Is it possible?
I don't know. After this, I don't know.
All right, thank you. Grab the staff. Yeah. All right, so come on out here. You're the one with tears in your eyes. Step up a little bit here. Come on up here. And you're listening to what they're saying to me here. What's your reaction to this and what the judge has to say?
Well, the whole thing is just very sad.
Well, she didn't totally close the door there. Did you hear? The door was still open a little bit. Can you get in that? Can you get in there? Can you get a foot in there?
I would love to. I still love her. I'm just not happy about how she treated everything, you know?
And Nick?
And Nick is just a manipulative person who wants to control her, and that's what he does. Right. It's sad.
All right, let's go to Harvey.
Okay, this defendant just didn't get it, does not get it. And the next time, the plaintiff needs to let this defendant fend for herself and let her learn what it's like to be an adult. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.